Now after we bake all our maps, we are ready to start texturing this model. But first I'm gonna go to texture set list. I'm gonna hide my other texture set. Alright, as you notice here, I bake all the maps except thickness, because we don't need a thickness map for a hard surface model like this. Alright, I go to shelf, smart material, and I'm gonna drag and drop this steel dark stain into our layer. Alright, if we go inside this smart material, we can see it's contains a bunch of other material. That's why I called smart material. Now I can go to each individual material. I can tweak the setting here. I can, for example, enable and disable the color, metal, roughness, and etc. Now leave everything at default. I'll go to the base scale. I'm gonna change the color to red. I close the folder, I go to shelf, material, and I'm gonna drag and drop this material still painted into a layer. I drag and drop on top. Now we have this material. I'm gonna change the color to something like dark gray. I'm gonna increase the scale to 20. Alright. Now I want to have this material only apply in the specific part of the mesh. What I can do is right click on our material and click on the add mask with color selection. I select pick color and I pick this dark gray. The reason I have ID mask because I apply material in my high poly. That's why I have the ability to select this object based on the color. Very easy. Alright, I'm gonna add another material on top. I'm gonna go to material and I'm gonna drag and drop this iron rough into our layers. Once more, I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna add mask with color selection. I'm gonna pick a color. I'm gonna select our pipe on top. Nice. Now I want to have the same material in here as well in my charging handle. What I can do is just go to mask, add paint. I'm gonna activate Polygon Fill. I'm gonna go to Mesh Fill. I'm gonna select our charging handle, this object right here. Now be sure you have one value in here to select it. Alright, I'm gonna create a folder, call it base. I'm gonna shift select all our material, drag and drop it into our base. I'm gonna create another folder, call it details, drag it on top. Alright, I'm gonna add a fill layer to this folder right here. I'm gonna have a fully metallic here, leave the roughness at 0.3. I'm gonna increase the height because I want to have some interesting details and effect in our model inside here. I'm gonna show you just in a bit. Alright, now for as you can see here, this material applied to our entire object, so I'm gonna have to add another folder and call it details. Inside, I'm gonna add a black mask. I'm gonna select the part of the mesh that I want to have these details. For instance, I'm gonna hold Alt and left click on our mask. I'm gonna go to UVs. I'm gonna select inside this mesh. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side as well. Be careful to not select other part of the mesh, undo it, or just if you accidentally select these UVs here, just zero out the color and select it. Alright, I'm gonna hit M on the keyboard, go back to material view. I'm gonna drag and drop this fill layer into our details inside. Alright, I'm gonna add a black mask to our fill layer. I'm gonna add a fill to our black mask here. I'm gonna go to shelf, procedural. I'm gonna drag and drop and select one of these procedural. Feel free to test all this procedural map or import your own map in here. Very easy. Drag and drop this fabric diagonal thin into our grayscale. I'm gonna increase the scale to 20. Now I'm gonna have the default setting in here. I'm gonna go back to our fill material. Now we have this kind of effect. I'm gonna have the base material for effects. I call it base. The dark, for example, dark color in here. I'll leave the roughness as 0.3, 1 metallic, and leave everything at 0. Alright, let's decrease the value here. Nice. Now go back to our fill layer, and I want to have the emissive effect in here as well. Now think about it. I want to have the red emissive effect for these details in here. Let's see what we get here. Nice. Now we have some interesting effect inside here. Beautiful. Now close this folder and I add another folder, call it tube details. Basically I'm gonna do the same thing here into our tube right here. I'm gonna select our tube, add a black mask here, go to Polygon Fill, go to Mesh Fill and select it. If I hold Alt and left click, as you can see here, I only select this tube. Alright, I'm gonna add a fill layer and drag and drop it into our tube details. I'm gonna have a height, positive height information in here, metallic, fully metallic, leave the roughness as 0.3. Now decrease the value in color. I'm gonna add a black mask in a fill layer, add a fill. I'm gonna choose one of these maps in here. I'm gonna choose this hexagon dots, drag and drop it into our grayscale, increase the scale to something like 15. Let's see what we can get here. Alright, okay, I'm not fully satisfied with the result. I'm gonna go to our hexagon dots. I'm gonna increase the border width to something like 0.4 to increase the gap between each hexagon. Alright, let's wait and see the results. Nice. Now we get some interesting effects. Now I want to have the emissive effect and color between the gaps in here. What I can do is just simply add a fill layer, drag it down beneath this hexagon effect. I'll rename it to hexagon details. Be sure to rename all your folders and materials. Alright, I changed this folder, rename it to Emissive. Alright, Now I go to emissive and give it like a greenish emissive color. Let's see the results. I'll leave the base color and metallic and roughness at default. I don't have a metallic here. I don't have a roughness. Just a beautiful green emissive. Alright, let's see the result. Now we have this effect. Very interesting. I love it. Let's just increase the value here. Nice. Now we go to our next details here. I'm gonna have some kind of stripes details in our chord here. Let's add a folder, call it chord or wire or something. Let's add a black mask to our folder. I select this wire here. I'll select our mask to be sure to only select this object here. Alright, I'm gonna add a fill layer. I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. I'm gonna add a fill. I'm gonna select a procedural map, drag and drop it, and that's it. We have the details. It's very easy. Basically, when you understand the basics of how Substance Painter works, the rest is just very easy. Alright, I'm gonna add a black mask in our fill layer. I'm gonna select, drag and drop this stripe in our fill layer, in our grayscale. Alright, I'm gonna increase the scale as well in here, like 10. I'm gonna go back to our fill layer. I'm gonna increase the metallic, decrease the roughness. I'm gonna give it a little bit of dark color in here. I'm gonna decrease the height, something like negative 0.2. Alright, now let's have a emissive beneath here. We're gonna do the same thing, or I can go back to emissive on the tube, Control C. I'm gonna Control V and copy the material here. Now let's wait and see the results. Give it a second to Substance Painter to figure it out. That's it. We have this very interesting effect right here. I can go back to our details stripe. I can go to pattern and increase the pattern, like put it like 15. Now pattern will be increased. I can go to chord and, or I can go to a stripe, add a paint. I can go to Polygon Fill and add a bunch of polygon at the end. It gives us a more interesting results, like this effect end at this point of the model. Alright, let's see the results here. Give it a second. Oops. The reason we get this effect is because I accidentally select mesh fill, because I have to go to Polygon Fill and select the polygons. So I remove the effect, add another paint layer and do the same thing here. Instead of mesh fill, I go to the Polygon Fill. I select this polygon at the end of a chord. Alright, let's see the results. I go back to a paint and we have this effect at the end. Nice. And we can, for if you want to go deep into the details, we can add a fill layer, for example, increase the height something like 0.2, and I just enable the height. Now I add a black mask and I only select the end part of the code right here. I add a paint layer. I go to Polygon Fill and I select these faces. Now we have a bump at the end of our in here. Nice. All right, and we are done with our details, with our basic materials. Now add a wear and tear folder on top. All right, let's add a fill layer. We call it Edgeware. Now I'm gonna increase the metallic, decrease the roughness like 0.1, leave everything at 0. I'm gonna add a black mask and add a generator. Add a generator for the black mask and select on the generator. And here we have a bunch of generator that generate a cool effect for us. For example, I have dirt generator, metal, edgeware, metal, edge notch, and grease, leak, etc. Now I choose metal edgeware generator, and it will create this beautiful, interesting edgeware. But as you can see here, we have to decrease our red level because it's very strong, and increase the grunge map and play with the setting right here. Very easy, very straightforward. As you can see here, the metal edgeware, because it gets information from the curvature, it does not work on the cylindrical shapes like here, in here, and especially in a quartz. So what we can do is just create another folder, call it mask, and I add a black mask into it, and I only select this object in here and in here. Let's go to our mask and go to mesh fill and select this element in here as well, in here as well too. Alright, I'm a rectangular shape. I want to have these details in here as well. Alright, maybe in there too. Okay, I hit M, I go back to our paints. Now I can see the result. Very interesting. If I want to leave, this is very strong effect in here at the stock. I can add a paint layer. I can go to alpha map. I can have like a dirt brush. I can brush off. Let's decrease the flow, and I can brush off this effect in here with 0 grayscale value. I can paint on top and remove the edgeware in here. Very easy. We have a lot of control in the substance painter. We can have any kind of effects, edgeware details with ease. We can remove it, add details. Very easy. Alright. After you are happy with the results, we're gonna add another folder. We call it dirt. I'm gonna add a fill layer, drag and drop it. I'm gonna zero out the metallic, increase the roughness, and leave everything at 0. I'm gonna change my color to something like brownish, dirty brownish color right here. Alright, I'm gonna add a black mask, add a generator. I can have a generator or add a fill and select a dirt map right here. For example, I add a fill. Let's have this dirt dirt map in here. Let's see the results. Alright, now we get this effect very strong. Let's decrease the balance. Now what I can do here is add a generator on top. I added dirt generator on top. Wait, let's see the results. As you can see here, it's very strong. Once again, we decrease the dirt level, decrease contrast and grunge amount. Alright, after you are happy with the results, now if you notice here, we don't have this dirt fill effect anymore because this generator here override any layers beneath it. So in order to get back our fill effect, we have to go to our top layer, this generator, and now I'm gonna change the layer type to linear dodge add. Now let's wait and see the results. Now we will get our effects back right here. Beautiful. Alright, this was the end of this tutorial. I hope you like it. Be sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and I see you guys next time. Take care.